Hello and welcome to I forget the name of the series.
Postscript Evangelion.
From Postscript Evangelion from your unscripted gaming crew. My name is Mike. I am joined by
Hello.
Ray. Josh has been out of town for a minute and just got back tonight, so he is going to bed because doing anything after traveling is bad and he is taking the evening off to catch up, and that's cool and no biggie. So here we are recording a little bit about some of the next episodes of Evangelion. And our continuing discussion of the series and what's going on here. So I think you and I have both watched ahead a little bit, so I think it's okay if we make, because these are kind of like
okay, so
this batch of episodes was a little slower.
Well,
I think.
back up. Before we commit to doing that, I actually, when I looked on my queue, my Netflix queue, I actually did not watch ahead. I lied. I actually stayed the course because in my queue.
Oh no! I outed myself. Oh no!
In my queue, it shows like you're at episode 10.
Oh,
like,
wait a minute.
Okay.
Hold on. Delete this. Start over. Hold on. Wait a minute. I was joking as well.
Takes a long swig. So let's just, because I am reliving Evangelion and I am enjoying the experience, let's not get too far ahead.
Let's keep it to 3 for now.
Yeah.
All right.
Otherwise, I'm right there with you. No, you know what? Episode 8, we'll get to it. That episode has like a very special place in my heart, and we'll get to it when we get there. So I liked rewatching it.
Okay. Well, let's just jump right in here. Episode 7, I think it's called
The Works of a Man.
The episode was a human work, the works of a man. There's some, I think there's some funny business happening here because
let's go where it starts off.
Misato. Yeah, because Evil Doctor is talking to.
Ritsuko was talking to Gendo Akari.
Yeah, to Gendo, and it sounds like they're talking about some sort of project.
But we'll get to that. We don't need to talk about that right
now.
And
I'm assuming it's not just the Evangelions, but that maybe they're a part of that. And
I love this bit of story building because in this episode you get to see obviously speaking, since it's very obvious that Mike is fanboying over Misato, we get to see every male character in Shinji's school is fanboying over. Fanboying.
Because she's super cool.
Well, yeah,
she's got a cool car. She's got a cool jacket.
Very 90s jacket. But she's got that very suave 90s Japanese style going on.
Yeah, she's dope. So, she's definitely the coolest.
They get to see Misato go to the school. So I brought up the episode, so I'm just following along. Oop! Quick cut. You get to see Gendo on a plane alone with one other guy, and they're talking about some story bits about something that Mike still has questions about, Second Impact. They're talking about how there's good story building.
Yeah.
All of Antarctica was vaporized. There's just a hole in Antarctica, a red hole. There is strong gravity coming from that section of the planet now. It's uninhabitable. It's what caused all sea life in the area to just die.
And that's what brought the aliens, or the angels, right?
I'm not telling you anything.
That's what I think they said.
They said it has something to do with it.
Okay, that's the thing. It's like I think it was kind of like that happened, and then angels started showing up. So it wasn't like any super crystal clear connection of there's suggested sequence of events, but it's not direct causality so far. But I liked this episode just because it's how it kind of like goes through. It's like a day in the life of Misato, where like Shinji and the Penguin are like, oh my god, this lady's such a mess. But then by the end of the episode, she's like willing to. You get to see that she's not just like how like cool and like layered of a character she is. That she's like about to like, because basically the whole gist of this the kind of event of this episode is that a rival tech company builds a nuclear-powered Evangelion-type creature thing.
This one is not biomechanical at all. It's pure mechanical, and it does have a gigantic nuclear reactor on it.
Yes.
And Misato and Ritsuko don't trust it just because it's... They don't trust it for a variety of reasons, but one of the reasons they don't trust it is because it's not biomechanical. And Ritsuko makes great strides through this episode to be like, no, we can't trust anything about this at all. And she like makes a scene at the convention and starts challenging the dude that created the robot.
Yeah.
Jet Alone is the name of the thing. And you start thinking, like, is Ritsuko evil? Because... You know, if the fate of the world is at stake, don't you take all options? And Ritsuko's like, no, Evangelion. We have to put children in these biomechanical creatures.
Yeah, and then because she was talking to Gendo at the end of this episode, right?
Yeah, Gendo said, like,
man,
thanks to you, the Jet Alone project is dead.
Man, I got bad.
Turns out Ritsuko sabotaged Jet Alone to go haywire, and it took the efforts of...
Yeah, because that's the thing, because there was definitely, like, the thing goes haywire and starts to melt down, and then Misato goes aboard, and, like, it basically almost, like, gets Chernobyl here, but is able to shut it down.
She pretty much did nothing, unfortunately. Like, when you really break it down...
Yeah, because, like... Yeah, because... I mean, are we 100% sure that it was, that Gendo and Ritsuko caused
yes,
this?
it was. If
meltdown?
You go and you're watching the Netflix version, which if you're listening to this podcast, you should be. It's at 20 minutes and 40 seconds, where Gendo and Ritsuko have like literally a 15-second conversation that confirms that this was a setup done by them. They don't want the world using any other alternative to fight the angels besides Ava's.
Man, Gendo gives me such bad vibes. How does anyone look at this guy and is like, oh, this is fine?
I don't think anyone's meant to like Gendo.
People. What? But yeah, I think I really liked this episode just because we get a I think it just kind of shows all the depth of Misato, like, and beneath her, like, kind of fun, chillaxing exterior that she has sometimes is someone who's like competent and like believes in her mission. It's just like she's like I really like this episode. I think more, especially because of what follows when her stupid douchey old flame shows up, and then they just have her do like, oh, I don't want to be back with him. It's so annoying that he's here. And I'm just like, she deserves so much better.
Shinji ends up building a respect to Misato at the end of this episode.
Yeah, that's another thing. Is like, this is an episode of Shinji being like, damn, like they're kind of getting closer. And
she's all right, I guess. You want to move on into
Yeah, so definitely, I guess, like, kind of my big question, well, because we kind of learned that the second impact wasn't just this meteor thing. There's still, I am still greatly disturbed by the implied nature of a first impact that has not been discussed at all.
I love how the show...
I'm deeply disturbed by this.
One of my favorite things about Evangelion, and one of the things that's mesmerizing about the show, is they do unexplained numbered sequences were second impact, the third child, Unit 01, Unit 02, the prototype. So such things like that makes you keep asking these specific questions. Like, oh, okay. And then the entire series starts where, well, now begins the attack of the third angel. Wait! Wait a minute. You can't drop bombs on me like that.
Skirt. Let me stop you right there real quick. Because that's like the Dark Souls in my brain. That's like, in the third era. Okay, well, first, don't tell me about even the third era. We have to talk about the first and second era, and then what predated with those era. Age of Dragons, etc. And the Lords of Cinder.
There's a whole podcast that has to be done once I beat Dark Souls 3. Dark Souls.
Yes.
On script Dark Souls.
This sounds great.
I'm aboard.
Unlorded. Our lore
We'll work
cast.
that title.
We'll workshop that a bit. But yeah, I really do like that too, because it's like, it's a really, to say it's subtle, it's really clever, because it's like not something that the characters like. They don't be like, you don't have Shinji going like, but what's the first impact?
No.
Like it's a good enough cue to like make me really curious and think about what that means in the world, and especially how like it's not really something like people talk about. So it's like a really good kind of like just world tease. Yes. That is like, it's nice to not have it like pandered, like directly pandered and hinted at to you, like, oh look what's inside the mystery box. But it's like,
there's a tiny bit of that in the episode coming up that we're going to talk about, episode 8. Yeah. Let's get to that. This episode is, what's the title of it? Asuka arrives in Japan. Who's Asuka? Okay.
Oh, boy. She's very bossy.
If anyone has been not liking what Josh has called the horny shots, and as I warned episode 3 going on, they only get worse from here. From Asuka on out, they don't stop. They just get so much worse.
It's rough. I'm like, this girl's like 14 years old, and they're like,
I need to constantly beat that into everyone's head. Asuka is 14.
Have mercy. I beg of you, show, please stop. And they're like, no, enjoy this, you perv. You're supposed to like this and think it's just, stop, don't do this
again.
This isn't funny.
Me and you,
it's like
me and you, the adults in the room, we are not the target audience for this show. Back when I watched this when I was in high school, that was the target audience for this show. And back then, it wasn't weird. It's like, oh yeah, you put a high school girl and you're showing, as Josh calls them, horny shots. That makes sense for this audience. For adults watching, it's like, stop. It doesn't stop. Just buckle in. Actually, you're ahead now. You've seen episode 10. You've seen some of the dumbassery that it just escalates to. Oh, you guys can't see it, but Mike's eyes went wide.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, back to episode 8. What are they doing, Mike?
So they are moving an Evangelion across. They're shipping it like across the ocean. Shinji and his school friends and Misato are getting helicoptered out there to kind of escort this Evangelion.
Yep.
So
a large UN fleet, by the way, large battleships,
yes,
carriers,
a large UN fleet. And well, there was a conversation with Gendo here at the beginning, talking to somebody, where they learned that like, where we learned that this is happening. Let's see. Then Asuka shows up and is like,
before everyone like corrects us in the comments, it's Asuka.
Asuka, sorry, I'm reading the wiki, and I forget. It's Asuka.
Cool.
So she's like just bossing people around and
being Asuka.
Yeah, Asuka. Well, there's some dumb anime stuff, and you're just like,
We don't have to talk about the horny shots because they add nothing. It's just there.
just please. It's just yeah. And then let's see here. What's this guy's name? Oh, Ryoji Kaji, or whatever his name is. He sucks. Oh, like he's like Misato's like old flame and like works for a different company now.
And
he's
still just hitting on Misato hard, and he's laid it on thick to a room full of 14-year-old kids. Like, oh yeah, me and Misato used to bang hard. Like, all right, okay, dude, that's a weird flex, but okay.
Yeah, it just like I'm a Misato defender here. And this guy he just sucks. Like, he's got this shitty ponytail, he's got this shitty facial hair, and he's just like, ugh, he's so cool. And just, but he's not even get such a dork, and I'm like, oh, this guy sucks. God.
Oh.
Misato, he's like, you're way out of his league. What are you doing?
Well,
God, you deserve so much
better. Get to that, I guess, later on in the series, but it's not worth talking about now. What is worth talking about is not very far into the episode, Angel Attack. And it's been a couple episodes since we had a proper Angel Attack, and this one is a giant sea creature.
Why is this angel attacking a random boat caravan? How does it know to attack that?
They make a point of noting that at the very beginning. Misato makes a point. She actually asks the same question. She's like, why is it out here, and what does it want? And we'll talk about that at the end of the episode. So, Asuka and Shinji suit up. More horny shots. Make of that what you will. And they get in the Eva Unit 02, what Asuka calls the first real Evangelion, because of course she calls it the first. The reason why she calls it that is it's the first production line model. Unit 00 is a prototype. That's Rei's Blue Eva. Shinji's Eva is the test unit, the one that's like a proof of concept. And Asuka's is the first one off of the production line.
Yeah.
And it has 4 eyes, which I'm sure didn't freak out Mike.
No, not a bit. Yeah. But yeah, so we see this cool thing where they're like, it's jumping from ship to like aircraft carrier to aircraft carrier, which is pretty cool.
Pretty dope. With the little, with the shawl that it has on. That's, well, it was like dust cover.
Yeah, that was sick. That was super cool. I was like, okay, this is great. So then they fight this like underwater angel. Things look bad. They are they're kind of getting dragged underwater here, and it's not looking good. Then one part I thought was really great here was it's like goes a bit into, I think we'll probably see a little bit more of it, but they kind of like do this whole, you're thinking in German, you're still thinking in Japanese, because Asuka is thinking in German, Shinji's thinking in Japanese, so they have to like, as they're kind of both in the same pod, they have to work together to pilot the thing correctly, and they ultimately at the end of the episode, after they've kind of beaten it, they see that like they had the best like link up score that they've ever seen.
I think that's really cool that the Eva needs to be in so much of your headspace. It needs to know what language you're thinking in.
Yeah,
I think that's like, dope.
Yeah, so that I thought that was pretty cool. And then the other part that was really cool, that literally was the plan to beat this thing, was, oh, we're gonna open its mouth a little bit and ram a battleship into the thing.
Not one.
That was so
not
sick.
One, two battleships.
That was, and then there's like fire. Okay, I was like, okay, that's sick. That's so
Anime
good. So they blow the shit out of this whale thing. So they broke the synth records. And then we get some plot here at the end of the episode, which makes, I don't know how to feel about this.
Yeah, what's his name? Kaji?
Kaji.
Yeah, Kaji.
Mr. Shitty Ponytail, Ugly Facial Hair Guy.
Kaji gives Gendo Akari, Adam, the first angel. Boom.
Was it the first angel or the first They said that the first human.
Nope. If I'm not mistaken, actually, I'm going to go to it since I'm following along the episode. I think yeah.
I mean, as we know, that angels and humans have very similar DNA.
90.
Do you know what else has similar DNA? Bananas and humans. So.
Oh yeah. He says it is sitting in solidified bakelite. It is the key to human instrumentality project. Yeah, no, he's right. You're right. He says, yes, this is the first human being, Adam.
Man.
If you notice, it looks like an embryo. It's cute.
Yeah. There's a blue link for the human instrumentality project on this wiki.
Don't click it!
I want to click it very
If you
badly.
click it, I'm warning you right now, you literally spoil everything. If they mention it so far in the series in 2 offhanded sentences, I would highly advise you don't click that blue link.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold off on that, but yeah, so definitely intriguing because they've got like that's what like Kaju is kind of transporting here was this embryo. So I feel like they're gonna use it to do some bad shit because, of course.
But that's really... Oh, yeah, and Asuka goes to Shinji's school now.
Yeah, Asuka transferred to the school, so now she's going to be part of the regular crew here.
Yeah.
That's kind of all I got with that one.
That's, the angel fight underwater is like the best part of this episode.
Yeah, that was great.
So we've actually entered a certain part of the series that the fans of Evangelion call the action arc of Evangelion. Episodes 1 through 8. No, I'm sorry. Episodes 1 through 7 are called like the building arc, and 9 through I'm not going to tell you are called the action arc, where it is high octane robot action. This is what you pay for.
Yeah, we're definitely kind of into the middle of like I guess it's like a far of a series climax. We're kind of through all of our like introductory hero accepting the quest kind of like startup. We're definitely into kind of like the trials and tribulations kind of point where like we are going to be seeing a lot of like the key action.
Let's get to episode 9.
And in episode 9, English title, Both of You Dance Like You Want to Win.
And the Netflix title, this is the secondary title, Mind Matching Moment, which also works. This episode is actually this episode holds a very special place in my heart because this episode is the very first episode of Evangelion I ever watched. Josh rented it from our public library because this was a time frame when you can do that.
Shout out to libraries.
Go visit your public library, support them, volunteer at them.
Go visit your public library. It's a great time.
It is. Massive supporter of that. So Josh rented this DVD, let me borrow it for like a day in between his rental cycle. And this episode was the very first one of Evangelion that watched, and I just dug everything about it because episode 9 is just such a super action and character building episode.
Uh-huh. There's honestly, like, if it wasn't this would be a pretty good episode, I think, to show somebody as like a trial. Would you be interested in this series? Because like, not that the first episode doesn't do that, but like, this is a pretty good like sample of the show.
Yeah.
Like, you get some. It does some like it does some. You got a good bit of everything. You got some little jokes as they're like kind of struggling to learn to fight together. You get some artsy cutaways from combat. You get some great combat sequences at the end. Yeah, this episode had a lot of cool stuff in it. Just key summary on this one. There's an angel that can split in two, and Asuka.
It's a Japanese name, and
Asuka.
And the way you enunciate it is you don't enunciate the U. You pretend the U isn't there for like an English tongue.
Asuka and Shinji go out to fight it, They aren't really working together, and then this thing can split in two, and they wound it, but they took a lot of damage.
So what happened is Asuka runs ahead and being like, rah, rah, go get him, German-Japanese child that she is. When they did the after-action report, they said it basically it planted her into the ground in 5 seconds.
That was very funny, because like it kind of cuts away from the battle at the perfect time, and then you just see like the bottom half of the Evangelion like buried to the waist.
Just got rinsed.
Oh, like Wile E. Coyote fell off a cliff or something.
Same thing happened to Shinji. He got tossed and he also got rinsed.
So they had a real bad time here, but they managed to stop this thing, and it's going to heal up in a couple of days. So then they're trying to put together like a combat plan to beat this thing, and they realize that the only way they can do it with to precisely beat this thing based on its moves is to like study and like perfectly execute this like matching routine. And they have like 6 days to learn it, and so then Asuka
closer.
Asuka.
There we go.
Oh my god. People are going to kill me for this. I'm so sorry. Please don't own me. Please stop. Oh no. Please. Ow. Ow.
I am not owned. I am not owned.
As I shrank into
a corn cob.
Tiny embryo.
They have perfect.
But yeah, so she moves in with Shinji and Misato and the Penguin. And they play DDR to learn how to get better and fight
Basically,
together.
yeah. They have to move in like... Okay, so the angel itself, even though it's in 2, it's still one angel. So they have to move in perfect synchronicity to defeat it as 2 Eva units. Otherwise, again, it'll just like rinse them and plant them into the ground like a Smash Brothers. Like King K. Rool with his with his down grab. That's basically what's happening right there. For you Smash Ultimate fans.
Yeah. So I really liked just the more build up of that. Like getting to know her a little bit more is cool, I guess. Just again, more just weird shots that are just kind of like, yeah, man, why did you
are you talking about more horny shots? You know what?
You're posting cringe, bro. Don't post cringe.
You know what? Hold on. I will, and this is not because I love this episode.
You lose subscriber.
I actually appreciate them in this episode because it is purposely pinpointing how Shinji himself has never interacted that well with a woman, or, well, a girl, really, let's be honest. A girl of his age. And now he has a girl of his age living in his home. So he's going through puberty, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. He's going through some hard puberty.
And he's definitely kind of like dealing with like isolation socially, and it's like, even though they're kind of like very different people, he still kind of feels like he still appreciates the camaraderie.
So
I guess
one thing I wanted to point out, like during their synchronicity training, is they're doing the little montage of Shinji and Asuka attempting to do it.
Yeah, good montage, by the way.
But before that montage, Asuka says, "I can't do it. I can't work with Shinji. I just don't want to work with him to do this." And Misato says, "Then we'll go to Plan B." Says, Asuka's like, "What's Plan B?" It's like, "We'll have Shinji and Rei do it." Rei puts on the headphones, and Shinji and Rei are already in perfect synchronicity. Like, perfect. Yep. They've never trained. They've never trained in this specific manner before. They just do it, and that pisses off Asuka. And honestly, from like a combat strategy plan, I was like, wait. Why not Shinji and Rei?
Wait, why is this the backup again?
Well, why is this not Plan A? So you're supposed to push that to the side for later because Shinji and Asuka have to work together. And yes, the montage is glorious. I love that montage. My favorite part is when Shinji when Asuka kicks Shinji in the small of his back, and he freaks out, as one should when they're kicked in the small of their back that hard.
Yeah.
And then near the end of the episode, oh, wait, you want to talk about that little scene? It's like a 3-minute scene where Misato and Ritsuko are just sitting at a diner, and they're talking about Kaji? Ryoji. Kaji. And they're talking about, like, when Misato was dating Kaji.
That guy sucks so much. I will never stop bitching about how much that guy sucks.
He apparently...
His ponytail sucks. His attitude sucks. His little facial stubbly shit sucks. He sucks. And he's a great character because he's smarmy and you're supposed to hate him. But I hate him so much.
At least at minimum, you're supposed to not trust him. Because you're supposed to have all this trust for Misato. And you're like, okay, this weird guy just brought Adam to Gendo Ikari, who, as far as we all know, is the most evil character in the series. Because he's given us no reason to assume otherwise. But yeah, the way he sits, the way he just... I don't want to say hates his son, because that implies that he acknowledges that he has a son.
Yeah. I mean, well, we'll get to it in another episode, but he just I have a joke about how Gendo just speaks a different love language, and Shinji just hasn't learned that yet.
What? That's horrible. That's absolutely horrible. Well, then we'll
get there.
Want to talk about the best part of episode 9? Probably the part that I always rewind several times.
Yeah.
Where the Evas are in...
Yes, I do.
For 1 minute and 5 seconds... Both Eva Unit 01 and Unit 02 are in perfect sync, and it's just beautiful to watch them flipping and launching and jump kicking and just beating the hell out of this. Oh, that axe kick scene! There's a perfect little part where they both axe kick each angel at the same time. Like, I love the styling of the animation of that part. Love it.
Yeah, and like the music is perfect too. Like. Yeah, that's the other thing is like again it just goes to show like how high quality like I mean because like the most like recent kind of stuff I was watching like anime I was watching was like Dragon Ball and definitely like you can tell that they stall a lot of the like the production value on this is very good because like just the combat sequences are they're so good.
Really, really good. I would say most of the animation budget clearly went to the Eva battles, because there are times when it looks a little cheap at times, but yeah, the Eva battles always look top tier.
Yeah, and just like it's playing this like beautiful music, and it just oh man, it was so good. Like, and just like the counter going down perfectly, and man, I think like I mean, like you were saying, I think getting I think this would be a very good first episode of Evangelion to see to be like, whoa. Just you kind of know what it is, but it also I think there's enough going on here to show you that this is something different. And
so we're in agreement. Anyone that you want to get into Evangelion, make them watch episode 9 first. Then
I think that I in my humble opinion, I think this honestly might be a good one to start with.
I agree. This
just because I feel like it just captures. It's not too like spoilery of like the big lore or whatever, but it just feels like it gets a lot of. It just has a lot of good.
It's a good seed planter. This is also this first episode Josh watched as well. So this is the episode that got me and him into the entire series, and it worked like a charm. It worked. Love it.
I guess as I'm rewatching this like fight sequence again.
It's wonderful.
It's very good. Another thing I love, just like about like the world and stuff, is like how this city is basically designed to be like a fight scene or a fight ground, because like they have this big like metal like skyscraper level like metal shields that pop up for cover. So it's like the whole city is kind of designed as like place for the Avas to like fight and get cover from the angels and stuff. Like it's just really cool. Like I think
one of the buildings pop up and there are 2 assault rifles for the Avas in them. That's also really kind of cool.
Yeah, like all that stuff just rules, man. Like yeah, this whole sequence was super great. I honestly don't really have much more to say.
I've got nothing else.
I feel bad just because like this probably like I imagine some of the episodes as towards the end of the series will get longer as like kind of more big discussion worthy stuff is happening. But like I so far just like I'm still really into like the characters and like kind of the world building. The animation is great. So good. That's it.
Again, it pleases me that you're loving the series so much, so you can see why people call it the best anime ever. And just to remind you, Mike, when we're all sitting down with the Netflix series, I'll buy it for you. Also, we're gonna have to sit down, and part of Postscript Evangelion is we're watching the movie because the movie wraps up everything.
I mean, that seems. I thought that was assumed.
Beautiful, excellent.
All right. Well, hey, let's keep it at 3 and kind of wrap this one up here, Ray. So
I'm in favor.
We'll be back in the near future with another Postscript Evangelion coming to your local unscripted gaming channels. Keep an eye out for it there. And folks, I don't have a memorized sign off for this one, so we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Peace. Stop. Evangelion.